Yo, what is up, everyone? It is The Beast, Brian London. Welcome back to the channel, The Beast. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. If you hit subscribe, right next to that is a bell. Hit the bell, you'll be notified when new videos drop. And of course, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let Google know, hey, this thing's okay. Maybe it's not great, but it's okay. So this week, as Miami prepares to play NC State, and with Miami having a record of 2-4, we got into the possibility of what if Coach Manny Diaz does not make it to next season, and there needs to be a coaching search. And we had to bandy about the names. And when I say we, it was a cast of characters, myself, and my good friends from back in the radio days. Robbie The Degenerate, you know him from his days as the producer of the Tobin Leroy Beast, Tobin Leroy Show, and so we brought in Robbie. Actually, he brought me in, and then Jazz Santana does his thing for the Six Ring Cane Show on the 5 Reasons Network. And we work together at the radio station, and now we're just doing our own media things all over the place. So we got together, and Robbie led the conversation, and we bandied about some names. We got into some situations. I think it's a great conversation. Enjoy it. Here it is.
At the halfway mark of the Miami Hurricanes football season, the Canes are sitting here 2-4.
Oh,
2-4, coming off of three straight losses now.
right.
And to Carolina, you had the Michigan State earlier, and you had the Virginia debacle. And so I figure we're all so depressed here with the state of the Miami Hurricanes football program is, and obviously we're only if Manny Diaz was the guy, we wouldn't be calling the summit. So we're here at the halfway point. We need a new coach, but obviously some people say it doesn't even matter who the coach is because of the administration doesn't care about football. That's another thing, and Kirk Herbstreit called them out on that. Great, by the way, that piece by Barry Jackson should win a Pulitzer. For exposing the best is the Barry Jackson Board of Trustee pieces, and that made its way to Kirk Herbstreit, and that embarrassed the program. And maybe he'll get something done. And without further ado, we got 2 hardcore Canes. Well, this one guy actually bleeds orange and green. I'm wearing the shirt just for that. The Beast and Jazz Santana and Jazz Money of 5 Reasons. What's up, guys?
What up, Robbie? Good to see you. Good to see you, Robbie. What's up?
Oh, man, good times.
Yeah.
Kind of remind me of the good old days, man.
Yeah, true.
Mixing it up in the back room when you're trying to make a sale, and then me and Beast arguing about radio show stuff. And it's all
Sports overtime.
That's way back. All right, we got some bogeys coming in on the comments. SDI, yes, this thing is on. There's Dolphin Game. And then, of course, SDI being biased and his Twitches with hips with Emmy. That's just debatable.
I mean, of course.
Look at LSU Bill coming in with the Manny Diaz working publication special this week.
Chicken tender subs. Can't go wrong with that ever.
Look at that.
All right, I'm putting this up. I don't care.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, listen, man. If I was single, never mind.
Wait. All right, so I guess we'll go to you first, Jazz. Before we get into the coaching candidates, what's your feeling? I know we're all depressed. I called this Manny Diaz thing a while ago. I didn't think he would suck. I just think the gifs and the going on the boat at the wharf was a little like everyone's blowing that up when it doesn't do anything.
So it went from going on the boats in the wharf to standing by himself inside that stadium yesterday.
Yeah,
last Saturday after the game, right? So how the tides have changed, I guess you can say, and no pun intended with the boat. You see what I did there, right? I don't know, man. Are we gonna pull a LSU and just fire him after we beat NC State, or are we gonna beat NC State? I don't know what's gonna happen, man. But I mean, at this point, it's inevitable, right? We're just kind of delaying it at this point, or whether maybe it's already been done. Who the hell knows what's going on? There's so much talk back there, with all the things going on in the background, and things kind of moving and shaking, and I mean, at this point, it's kind of now just wait and see what they do, man. But I think at this point, it is what it is, right? Like it's done. I think that.
I mean, the defense is horrible, and he's controlling the defense.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, he controls the defense, so you know.
Let me ask you. So let me ask you this question, because I have yet to understand what is going on, and one would think after my years of being involved with this program that I would maybe have a clue of what's going on. But the team is 2-4, and whatever goal they had before the season is pretty much gone, right? I mean, all the goals are there's no Coastal, there's no conference, there's no Natty. I mean, making a bowl game?
Yeah,
is that the only thing left? And chances of that?
Now we're hanging on. Yeah, we're just hanging on.
Chances of that are slim to none, and Slim is readily trying to make its way out the door. So it goes back to the old axiom of what must be done eventually should be done instantly. And I just don't understand the concept because you look at USC and you look at LSU, and you have big players in the market already looking for coaches. And you don't want to be that program that's sitting here twiddling your thumbs while other teams are through, third parties and agents already lining up, candidates. So I don't really understand what the University of Miami is doing. I hope this is not he's coming back next year regardless. On the other hand, if you're really going to be that program that's like, well, we'll make the definitive decision at the end of the season if we don't make a bowl game or something like that. Well, I mean, come on. Like, at this point, if you did make a bowl game, it would be by the hair of your chinny chin chin, and it would be somewhere in Podunk. So what's the point? And you're going to lose, and you're going to get your butt wiped anyways because you just don't win bowl games anymore at the University of Miami. So my question to you two is why are we here with listen, I personally like Manny, and I said this on my YouTube video after the last game, which is I honestly think eventually somewhere he'll be a head coach at doing, I think he has the wherewithal. I just don't think his first job should have been I don't think his first job should have been the University of Miami job. So why are we?
You nailed it, though. You nailed it, right? Like his first job should have been at the University of Temple.
Right, exactly.
And I think Blake James just sabotaged that whole thing, and he went rogue, and without doing a proper coaching search, he just went off and said, "Well, hey, let's buy this guy out who literally was in our office 2 days ago." Bring him back, spend that $4 million, and bring back a guy who wasn't prepared. I'm not, and I agree with you, Beast. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think in the right situation he's a bad coach. This is not the right situation. Right. I think the bottom line. So he definitely
it's not just the losing, but the excuse making just makes it over the top worse. We're being 7.
At this point, he's lying to everybody. Right?
Yeah, but I you know what? I watched this. I watched every press conference, and I think it's gotten to the point where he knows where he is. He knows what's going on. I mean, this last Monday's presser, you could just tell. But what else do you want to no coach is going to go out there and say hey, I suck, I should be fired. So the whole expectations of what to say at a press conference is stupid from a fan's perspective. As long as you don't pull a Randy Shannon and be like, hey, it was the long walk from the locker room. That's
well, he almost kind of said that by saying that we almost pulled off something spectacular against UVA.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole Appalachian State does this to everybody.
Oh my god.
All that stuff, but listen, I've stopped judging pressers, and I just want to judge what's going on the field, and it's not good, especially for his side of the football. When the defense can't get right, I mean, that's you, bro. That's single-handedly on you.
Oh, well, the little bit of good news is there's an article from Barry Jackson a couple weeks ago. God, how the guys that won a Pulitzer already is beyond me. That they said that the Canes have a very little. They wouldn't owe him that much if they were to fire him. They would only have to pay like half, not even half of what he's owed in the rest of his contract. So it seems like it's financially feasible. It's not one of these crazy A&M or LSU giving Orgeron $17 million. It seems like a feasible buyout to move on from Manny Diaz. However, on the flip side, Beast, is that there's rumblings that the administration doesn't care about football, and Julio Frank posted a giant 12-page statement after he got called out by Kirk Herbstreit. Probably doesn't mean anything. So, Beast, you're still. So, I mean, do you talk to the bots? And are they committed to firing Manny Diaz, or is it just
no? Well, the problem with the bots, the board of trustees, and again, I'll do this again. I've made a million videos on it, but let me just explain it to you. In the University of Miami system, right? You've had two kind of presidents. You've had a strong president like Donna Shalala, who ruled with an iron fist, good or bad, whether you like that or not. And you've had the type like Julio Frank, who are just simply acting out in the best interest of the board of trustees, who really runs the university, and specifically the athletic advisory board, which is the small group of trustees that run the athletic department. And a lot of the board of trustees and are either there because of donations or because they're famous, like Alex Rodriguez, which how many board meetings is he going? That's not happening. But when it still a good portion of them were there when I was school or before. I mean, they're 70, 80 years old, and nothing against our elderly population or the 70-year-olds or 80-year-olds out there, but their grasp of what's going on today in college athletics may not be what it should be. And so do they want to fire the coach? Probably not, because they're looking at money and all of that stuff. But it's also a misnomer to think the University of Miami doesn't have the money to do what needs to be done. It does. The University of Miami has plenty of money right now. They've had $2 billion campaigns. The hospital is printing money. That was a bad deal to buy the hospital, their own hospital, by Donna Shalala, but they've since, I think, gotten back on better footing, from what I hear. So the money is there. It's just a matter of it's a matter of whether those members, again, of a small group of people, the athletic advisory board, of whether they want to have cojones or not to get this done and really believe in football. Whether Julio Frank gives a crap about football or not, it doesn't matter. He's not in charge. So, I mean, he could, he's a doctor, and it's great that he's in charge of the University of Miami during the pandemic, but he ain't the one that's making the decision. It's the board of trustees and the athletic advisory board.
Have you guys, both of you, have you guys feel like, look, it started, Randy Shannon, there was a little bit of promise of Randy Shannon, but then, losing to USF and then going 7-5, that was the end of that. Then you went to Al Golden. He sold a bunch of lies, and he had the cloud. That was his go-to card, the cloud, and that bought him an extra couple of years.
Damn pillars.
And his pillars and his quotes from himself in his binder.
Right. I'm quoting myself in the binder.
Yeah. Fear nothing to fear but fear itself. Al Golden. Yeah.
And by the way, he's the one that has the best record in the last 30 games out of all of them.
Well, he has a better record than Manny Diaz. Well,
Randy Shannon.
And then you had Mark Richt, was like, wow, like with that 2017 Jazz, we were crunk.
Oh my God! I was sitting next to Beast in that Notre Dame Miami game. I know you remember. Beast was like, "Jazz, shut the hell up!" And I'm like, "You can't do this."
How did you get a credential, Jazz? How did you sneak in and get a credential?
You can thank Sean Stanley for that.
Yeah, exactly. What's we call it? Mark Richt was we lucked into that one because if there's under no other circumstance does Mark Richt become the coach of the University of Miami other than what happened at Georgia and the timing and everything. And it's like he fell into your lap and he took a discount and he's just a nice man and he loves the university. And so you just lucked into that one.
He didn't want to fire his son, and that's why he walked out.
Exactly. I mean, but on the other hand, you got to thank Mark Richt because he gave money back. He helped you build the indoor practice facility, and he paid for Manny's buyout at Temple. Basically,
I miss Mark Richt. I would kill to have him back.
Yeah, no, listen,
great man.
Great man.
Hope he gets better.
But
I wanted to jump on what Beast was saying.
Jump on me, man. Jump on me.
I wish I could, Beast.
Yeah.
This is Twitch. We can do it.
Whoa!
Well, when are we starting the coaching search OnlyFans?
Oh my god!
Oh, so many buys.
That would be amazing. We'd become millionaires real fast.
Yeah, I know.
On LSU coaching search OnlyFans. Oh god.
Money's not an issue. I don't think money's an issue. But then again, I kind of preface that by saying we're not going to pay $17 million to buy someone out. I get that, right? Like that would just be stupid, also. But I don't think money's an issue. From what I hear, I know, Beast, you're close to a lot of things also, but what I'm hearing is everything's already in motion. As far as like what the board of trustees and business people are doing to kind of bring in something, doing things the right way down here. So in the background, apparently things are already kind of starting to move. And there's a lot of talk. I know everybody's talking about, well, we're going to bring this one, and we need to bring Mario, we need to bring Lane, and we need to bring. First of all, yeah, and I know you're probably going to get to that, Robbie, and so I'm not going to spoil it, but there's certain circumstances where certain people will come here, but there's some where they absolutely will not even pick up a phone, right? And you can obviously imagine what those are, and I'm sure you've heard of what those are also. So,
wait, enlighten me, talk to me.
Listen, the bottom line is. Bottom. Are you going to text you?
Look at you hanging out with Ethan for a couple months, and you're getting all these sources in place.
Hey, listen. I love Ethan because he's giving me a platform. I don't talk to Ethan about any of this shit. Okay.
Don't run it.
We can't say that. We can't say that.
It's Twitch. You probably. Well, I mean, we're good, but sometimes it cuts out the audio when you do that.
Okay.
Careful.
It's okay. I have the screen grab going.
So. Listen, Cristobal's not picking up that phone. He's not picking up the phone if Blake is still the that's about all. And the only reason he's going to entertain this is because he's got guys like Zoe that he trusts. And that's just from what my understanding is.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I didn't know that's what you were getting at. I thought there was something else going on that I didn't know about. Some sort of, anyways.
Right. So you know a little bit about this.
No. But that is true. That from the people I talk to, and it's not just Mario. Word gets around about how things operate. The coaching circle is a tight one. And people talk. There's always conventions that people are at, assistant coaches are at. People talk. Word spreads quickly about administrations and how things are handled. Again, it is nothing personal. But if Blake James is still the athletic director, you are severely you're cutting off your pool of talent to choose from. And it's because word gets around of how operations go. It spreads like wildfire. So yeah, Mario has intimate knowledge, obviously, because this is his alma mater, and he was here for 3 days, and he knows Blake from Blake's first go around at the University of Miami. But trust me, word has gotten past Mario to a lot of other places far and wide about the way this athletic department is being run. And it really is an athletic. Like, I know we're talking about football, but did the men's basketball team win tonight?
I think Wong dropped like 40 points tonight against
Nice. But they've had like everyone transfer from basketball, and the baseball team is underperforming. It's an athletic department situation. So although the volleyball team did good this year, yay for that. But there's bigger problems, right? There's bigger macro issues that need to be taken care of before some of these bigger names that I'm sure we're going to talk about are going to want to buy in.
Well, like this guy if you have a short, the Archie guys, like you look at LSU, they have a short list, and their short list like Jimbo Fisher. Like, we can't do that.
Well, it's funny you say that because Paul D and I had an interesting relationship, and may he rest in peace. Is at one point in time, I actually screamed, and this is a funny story, bleep Paul D, but I didn't say bleep, and he was standing right behind me. That was not a good day in my life. But
you said bloop.
Yeah, but he also came to my wedding. So so we had several private conversations, Paul and I. And Paul loved listening to the radio, so he would always pull me aside and talk about stuff that that was being talked about on the radio, or this or that. And he always said, Paul D said, you asked me right now, I've got 5 names. I've got 5 names right now ready to go for all my main coaching jobs, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if someone's getting sick, someone's going to quit, someone gets fired. I have got 5 names for every job on my staff. I've got 5 names ready to go.
Maybe this one, the first call, the short list. We've kind of already talked about this, but I'll give a case for Mario Cristobal.
Oh, I didn't know this is how we were doing it. Okay.
No, you're just whatever you want.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just have it ready to go. I have a bunch of.
All right, go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
But the case for Cristobal I will make is obviously the rumbling. Aside from the Blake James stuff. Oregon, Phil Knight, they got if there's any whisper of a rumor, they're gonna back up the cash, and the Canes aren't gonna be able to match what Oregon would pay him. Even the board of trustees in that Barry Jackson article says, "Oh, we can't do that. We can't pay for that crystal ball buyout and all that stuff." But I remember when the Canes were looking for a basketball coach, before they ended up with Larinaga, the rumor was Frank Martin. But now we were having these same conversations like, oh no, Frank Martin, he would have to take a pay cut to come down to the University of Miami. There's no way the Canes could afford Frank Martin. He was at Kansas State. He hasn't gone to South Carolina yet. Frank Martin actually called a press conference at Kansas State to dispel those rumors. He's like, no, that's not true. That's not about money. He's basically, without trying, he's basically telling the Canes, please hire me. I want to come back to Miami.
Right, yeah.
So maybe that's your one shot with Cristobal, is that maybe he misses his Banco Lechon and he wants to come back to Miami. And maybe he doesn't like being in Oregon. He wants to come back home. But Frank Martin, he had to make sure to let everybody know that, hey, that pay thing is a lie. I would be very interested in taking the job.
Your only shot with Mario is literally he misses the 305. That's it. I mean, I think it would have to just be that. And also he would have to have complete autonomy to be able to pick his staff.
I think that more than anything else, Beast, I think that he's a Miami guy. So he loves it down here. Obviously he's a Cane, right? He does have a great thing. He's building a monster in Oregon, man. I don't care what anybody says. There's
yeah, Chris, LSU Phil coming with
Phil's not wrong. Phil's not wrong.
Oregon gets a new uniform every week. They talk about NBA with their wacky uniforms.
Here he'll get all those NFTs. How exciting, right?
Yeah.
I think that again, money's not going to be an issue if we want to pay Mario. But you hit it, Beast. I mean, he's got to want to miss Miami. He's going to want to come down here and have full say of what everything, how everything goes. And I don't even think Blake needs to get fired. I think at this point, if he has nothing to do with the football program, he can go just fundraise if he wants. If he has nothing to do with the football program, I think Cristobal gives it, at least he puts an ear to it, I think.
Well, but actually, Jazz brings up a good point, is if they want to, they could easily, because Blake's his forte is fundraising. I mean, he could be moved up into a spot for the General University, raising, millions and billions of dollars for the university, and make that problem, turn into a plus for the university while creating maybe an opportunity in the athletic department. That's actually not a bad idea, Jazz.
Yeah, wasn't there a coach that just got fired, but they kept it. They said he has a role within the organization. Oh wait, no,
it happens. It happens. It's happening in college football more. Yeah.
The Padres manager. That's what it was. That he got fired, but they have a role in the organization. But all right, I made the one phone call. I got hung up on whatever. The next phone call on the 5 names. I got more than 5 names here, but next guy I call, Ken Dorsey. Now, forget about his greatness of the Miami Hurricanes quarterback. He's a good coach. Josh Allen has turned into a superstar with him as his quarterback coach, and he was a quarterback coach with Cam Newton when he won his MVP. Obvious ties down here. I feel like he would take the job coming from a NFL quarterbacks coach to a head coach. I feel like, as far as doability and not fantasy land like Cristobal, I feel like Dorsey's up there. And I would say Lane too, but Lane could do better than the Hurricanes. I think Ken Dorsey could take this job. No, you guys aren't feeling good about this.
All right, so here's my thought.
Go ahead, yeah, BC you first on this one.
Okay, listen. As a fanboy I would absolutely have O-Face for 24 hours if Ken Dorsey came back to the alma mater. I love him. He and I would spend every Wednesday during football season in an office just talking football while he took a break from doing media stuff and ate a pizza. So that was pretty cool. I wasn't eating pizza. I didn't get to touch that. He was. And he's a great dude. And he's the only autograph that I currently have in my house is on a Ken Dorsey jersey. That's it. That's the only one. But there's something, and I think he is a great quarterback coach, and what he's done with Allen and Cam Newton and others that he's been around, even helping Mark Preston up in the CFL when he was like their third string quarterback, but really was an assistant coach, is something we talk about. But I think I'm at the point where I only want someone that has been a head coach. And Ken Dorsey has not even been a coordinator. He's only been a quarterback coach.
Yeah, there were rumors that he was going to come down here and be the Dolphins offensive coordinator. But
right. So I don't know. It would really be hard for me to say no. And if he was hired, I would cheer it. But I really want the next coach of the University of Miami to have been there before as a head coach.
I didn't mention this earlier, okay, with Cristobal, but I like Ken Dorsey. I think he's a great mind. I think that he could do a lot of things with an offense, right? I'm with Beast, but I'll take it one step further. I need a CEO. I need a guy that's gonna, and Cristobal is a CEO. I need a guy like that. I need a guy that can hire two badass coordinators, okay? Great offensive coordinator, great defensive coordinators, and oversee everything and make the decisions that he needs to make, and I think that if you go with a route of like Ken Dorsey, then, his main focus is going to be the offense. He's going to run the offense, but he's never been a head coach. Beast nailed it, right? He's never been a head coach. He's never been a coordinator, right? So would I take him as a guy that could possibly come in and be a coordinator? Sure. I think that he'd be successful like that, right? He kind of reminds me of like a Joe Brady kind of guy, right? So that's the kind of guy that I equate Ken Dorsey to possibly being, something like that. And even Joe Brady's obviously not a head coach, right? He's the OC, right? He's the OC.
Yeah, he's the OC, but he was a passing game coordinator at LSU.
And from what I hear, he does not have Joe Brady does not want to have any interest in going back to college. So
yes, I heard that same thing.
So right. And you're right. Ken Dorsey does not give off CEO
vibes.
Right. Now, I don't know if that's in him or not. I mean, obviously, there's, when you think of that 2001 team that he was on, when you think of the guys that were the vocal CEO types, it was Joaquin and Ed Reed. Those were the guys.
Yeah, that was a different time too.
Right. No, but I'm just saying, he wasn't the quarterback that was like.
Oh, right.
The guy that was vocal. I mean, he was respected because of his play, and he was respected because of his intelligence, but he wasn't a CEO of that team. So, that's the thing with that. But
and I don't know how much he wants to recruit either, right? With Mario, you're getting a top, maybe the best recruit in the country, right? If not top two, top three.
Exactly. Okay. But again, it'd be one of those situations where, if they announce that Ken Dorsey was the next head coach, I'm rubbing myself with that Ken Dorsey autographed jersey all night.
You do that, Beast. You do
that. Well,
my bald head.
I mean, you mentioned this guy already, but I mean, look, I have him at 3, but I feel like they're a better coach on this list. But he's in the organization already. Ed Reed, you already just brought him up. Now, Uncle Luke was on with Tobin and Leroy last week, and he basically said that Ed Reed doesn't do anything, that he just sits in an office all day. He said that on the air. That's not a source right there. That was on the air and said that. And then the next day, it just so happens, Ed Reed was at practice. And I don't think they want Ed Reed. And Uncle Luke also said that Manny Diaz doesn't want people surround him with people that are smarter than him. And so maybe Ed Reed is getting shut down. Maybe Ed Reed has greatness to show, but they're not letting him.
No, I've seen Ed Reed at practice.
Yeah,
plenty of times. I've been at practice with him there, and he's coaching them up.
Ed Reed can do whatever the hell he wants, when he wants. He can do whatever he wants. There's no one telling Ed Reed to sit in an office or do this or do that. He does as much or as little as he wants to. And he had some weird tweet like a couple of days ago. I even like asked him like, dude, like what's up with this? And he didn't respond to me, but I think he basically implied like if I wanted to be coaching, I would be. And I think that's the basic deal is Ed Reed could be a coach right now if he wanted to be anywhere. NFL, not a head coach. I'm just saying a coach. NFL, college, he would, if he raised his hand and said, please hire me, there's not a team at any level of football that wouldn't hire Ed Reed. It's what he wants to do. Ed Reed's certainly more of a CEO type, but I'm not sure that that's what he wants to do, to be honest with you. Again, another thing, because I'm a fanboy, if they announced tomorrow that Ed Reed was the head coach, I would go dig out my number 20 jersey from 1999. That's 17 sizes too small, and I would throw it on and head down to the Gables.
The you invented swagger.
Yep,
get that shirt out there.
I think Ed Reed, like B said, he can coach wherever the hell he wants, 100%, and he can do it here. I mean, and I've seen him do it, right? I mean, I've been at practice when he's out there coaching the safeties and coaching the cornerbacks and even coaching some of the guys on the offense. I mean, he does it all, I mean, is there a better person to kind of do that, right? Obviously not. But I'm with Beast on. I don't know if he wants to do that. I don't know if he wants to be a head coach. I don't know if he wants to do what it takes to be a big time head coach. And I don't think that's him. I mean, listen, if he came in and said he wanted to coach DBs or if he wanted to coach the defense, yeah, I'd be all for it. I just as a head coach, and again, like he can do whatever he wants, but at the same time, his hiring, as far as what I understand and what I see is he was kind of like the guy that was brought in because they didn't hire Alonzo Highsmith, or that all kind of fell through a couple of years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And so they said, well, hold on, we didn't get Highsmith, we should have, but we know what Highsmith wants, right? He wants control, he wants to be able to run the show. But we're not going to give him that, or Blake James said that at the very least. Let's hire Ed Reed. We'll just stick him in a desk and he can do whatever.
By the way, Ed Reed he has had carte blanche to have the ear of the head coach and the staff, for every head coach that's been here since Randy Shannon, right? I mean, he's been at practice. I've seen him around the Hecht, now the Schwartz Center. He's been in offices. There's been times, 10 years ago when I would show up to something and he would be ducked in someone's office watching film and talking to someone. He's basically, the only difference now is that has an official title and he's allowed to be on the sideline during games. And I actually did notice during the last game that he was in Manny's ear about something that they showed on TV. So that's good to see. But yeah, I mean, he's doing the same role. It's official now.
And I think with Manny, I think you guys mentioned this earlier, the whole not having guys that are smarter than him on the staff. I think he has some of those guys. I think that those guys were brought in. I think he did a good job at, bringing in guys like T-Rob and even Jess Simpson. The only one obviously that's the biggest question mark to me is Packy, but whatever. That's we won't even mention that. But here's a problem, right? Like you bring all those guys in to do what they've done in the past, to do what T-Rob has done at South Carolina and at Florida and all these places, right? You bring in Jess Simpson to do what he did a few years ago with Mark Richt. And you bring in a guy like Bob Stoops. What are you using them for, right? Like they are smarter, right? You want to surround yourself with the smarter guys. There's a difference between bringing in the right guys and then not allowing them to do everything and not allowing them to be who they are. You know what I mean? And that's I think his downfall.
I don't know where this is coming from, but like that's not something I've heard. And just in like interacting with Manny, I don't get the sense that he's the guy that's being dictator and saying, hey, keep your mouth shut, whatever. I think on the other hand, he's probably fighting for his job right now and would take any advice that Bob or Ed have for him,
Yeah, it's all good points. And Beast, I remember what you said earlier about how we lucked into Mark Richt and how the situation, like Richt had the ties. He was fired at Georgia, and then he was planning to take a year off, and the Cage job was open, and he went there, and so it seemed like everything fell into the lap. Well, this isn't as soft of a landing into the lap as possible, but as a coach who's got Miami ties, and he's getting fired. And I'm put his name on the screen. Ed Orgeron. Now, forget about. Look. He wasn't a good coach at Ole Miss. He was a good interim at USC. He had a 1 year at LSU. But for Prescott,
no, he had Joe Burrow at LSU. Yeah. And Jamar Chase and those guys, Justin Jefferson.
Jazz, if you have any thoughts, feel free to go first because I'm going to shut this down as soon as I get the opportunity. But go ahead.
I just think, before I get to Jazz, I just think for press conferences alone, I mean, if you're gonna suck, which it seems like no matter who the Canes hire, you're gonna suck. At least have entertaining press conferences. Well, the defense was bad. Now go Canes.
Let's hear him say that, right?
It'd be great. It'd be great for Tobin for bits in the morning.
He would have a ball with that.
As long as those guys are allowed to have a show, which it's a whole
All
right, so Jazz, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jazz.
No, man. No, he's just not a good coach, man. And some are saying, "Hey, forget about Luke, but you're bringing him in as a defensive coordinator." No, I just don't think that. No, it's a resounding no for me, and I want Beast to shut this down because he probably knows a little bit about Ed a little bit more than I do.
Here's the deal:
he fell into Joe Burrow and those guys. I mean, that's a generational type of team right there, and anybody could. Me and Beast could have coached that team to a national title.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, and I told you that a lot of the decision makers are old, right? That means they go back ways. Into the 80s. And when Ed Orgeron was here the first time around, without getting into details, like he had some issues, okay? He still has some issues.
Yeah.
Same kind of issues?
Also, like, issues, right? So and the folks that are in charge have not forgotten, right? Like, it's kind of like the Mike Leach thing. Like, he, without getting into details because they'll be argued about that interview forever, but let's just say that half of what we think is true about Mike Leach interviewing for the head coaching job is true. Like, the people involved in that are never going to get over that, and it's never going to happen. So, like, the Ed Orgeron thing, it's never going to happen because the people in charge, when they think of Ed Orgeron, think of a dude that was running around, just bad deal, man. I don't think it's going to happen. So there's no reason to even think about it. Like, it's just not going to happen.
LSU Phil comes in with Canes for an orange run. No Canes, bro, so who would understand half of what he says?
It's true. It's probably better off.
All right. That was, look, we're running out of names here now. There's a bunch of other names. No. We got plenty. Actually, we got plenty more names. We got plenty more. But for just spoil, I don't have Lane Kiffin on this list because I feel like Lane Kiffin wouldn't take the job. I feel like he would. I feel like he could do better. Now that LSU,
do you have any more? Do you have any more?
I got a bunch more. Yeah, but
that you're gonna put on the screen or when?
I've actually got a sleeper for you guys, but not as a head coach.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Give your guys.
Go ahead, Jazz. Who's your sleeper?
I got a guy, but not for a head coach. I think as a position guy or even front office type of guy, I'm looking at T. Martin.
I heard
for a couple of different reasons, right? Number one, his kid's actually coming to play for Miami. He's more of a baseball kid, but he is a quarterback as well. So he's on scholarship to play baseball. He's a stud at baseball, but he's also a quarterback. He's a lefty. I think his name is Caden Martin. So he's committed to play for Miami baseball, and I think he's going to give it a go in football also. But maybe he wants to be around his kid a little bit more. I'm not saying he's going to be here all for a while, but look, he wasn't terrible at USC, right? He ran into some issues there after a while, but he's
a good OC, man.
Decent OC,
yeah,
right?
Fact,
so
another thing
as an OC, why not? He can recruit. He is a hell of a good recruit as well, so that's big too.
Another bomb that I don't know if it's a bomb or not, but it was Uncle Luke with Tobin and Leroy. He mentioned that there are plenty of coaches out there that he said that he talked to T. Martin, and T. Martin got fired from USC, and USC still owed him like $2 million, and he wanted to come down here to Miami and coach for like nothing. to coach for nothing because he's already getting paid $2 million from USC, and then apparently Miami said no and they didn't want him. And he said that's another problem with the case, that they don't want these quality coaches that want to come down here.
Can I give you my list of so my top guy would be Lane Kiffin. And I know he doesn't want to come down here or whatever, but also, I mean, if you heard Lane on with Lebitard talking about how much he hates the brown water in the ponds in Oxford, Lane's a big city guy, man. He's a guy that wants to be in the limelight, in the big city. He was in Boca. He got a taste of South Florida. If you don't think that Lane would love him some Coral Gables Cougars,
I think he'd come. If the circumstances right.
But then I don't know what his buyout is at Ole Miss. I'm sure it's exorbitant, whatever. But that's my number one choice. After that, I've got a few interesting names. Okay, one is a guy that works with Ken Dorsey, and this doesn't pass one of my tests, which is he has to be a head coach. But this guy's proven his abilities, and that's Brian Dable.
Oh, okay, yeah, the offensive coordinator.
Now, I may be a little biased because he comes from the Belichick tree, but still.
Wasn't he with Saban also in Alabama?
Yeah, he did spend a year in coach rehab in Alabama. Yeah,
exactly, in coach rehab. A guy that has college experience as a position coach and maybe a coordinator is Eric Bieniemy. If he keeps getting shafted in the NFL, he might look for a big college job. But here's my off the beaten path. I'm totally biased on this. But to me, I don't know if he's getting enough credit or whether he's getting too much credit. Byron Leftwich.
Oh, at Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
That's not bad either. But yeah, it is Brady. It is the Tampa Bay machine that he has going on.
There's a guy that was a high-level player in college, knows the college game. He was carried up and down in the field by his offensive line.
Yeah, with a broken ankle. That bowl game.
But he's developed into a really good NFL assistant coach.
No, I would like Byron Leftwich.
He's my flying under the radar, kind of guy.
I mean, that's maybe all the Canes are willing to spend is a flying under the radar. I mean, what you guys are telling me.
Listen, we can talk about PJ Fleck. We can talk about
Luke Fickle.
Yeah, we could. Nah, I mean, I was just like Kyle Whittingham, right? Like he's been rumored to go so many places, USC, whatever. Like he's not a Miami guy.
Yeah,
like that's not happening. Yeah. Like Chris Peterson, not a Miami guy.
He's on TV now.
like, there's something about this place. Like Al Golden wasn't a Miami guy.
Yeah,
you have to, and I know that Jimmy wasn't a Miami guy and Dennis Harrison wasn't a Miami guy. But the 305, the 954, the South Florida area was a little bit different back then than it is now. And I think you have to understand what you're dealing with down here. You can't be a Pacific Northwest, a Midwest.
Can't be a Middle East guy.
I mean, you can be a Middle East guy.
I mean, you can, but not literally from the Middle East.
Right? I mean, you can. But
I'd be a hell of
Midwest
an offense, huh?
You gotta be a big city guy that understands Miami.
Well, so this guy that is a no-go, Dan Lanning, the defensive coordinator at Georgia, who's this defense at Georgia, like they don't give up. They've been giving up like one touchdown all year. He's an under the radar coaching guy. He's going to get hired somewhere. Obviously, again, he doesn't have a coach. I mean, the thing about the no coaching experience, at some point, all these coaches you see now, at one point, they took a head coaching job without having any coaching experience. They didn't come out of the womb with head coaching experience.
Yeah, but it normally wasn't at Miami.
Exactly. Go to Temple for that.
Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like your first head coaching job should not be at a school whose logo is recognized worldwide, right? Like your first head coaching job shouldn't be at Miami, USC, Notre Dame, Alabama.
Georgia Kirby Smart, his first head coaching job was at Georgia. Like he wasn't.
That's a different story, though. He was basically the heir apparent.
Yeah, to say
just like Jimbo was at FSU.
Yeah.
Like if you're there, it's a different story. Like whatever. But and sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't. But
I don't want anybody from the NFL. I need a guy that's been a head coach. I don't want a guy in the NFL. I want a guy that's been in the college game for a long time. Look, everybody's kind of like wants Nick Saban and I'm not saying you do, but everybody has this idea that, we need a guy that's going to come in and win 15 games and go 15-0 every year. And there's only one guy that does that, right? Like everybody else, all 185,000 teams in the NCAA, all lose 1 or 2 games. They all do. The only one that does it goes undefeated most of the time, or more times than not lately, is Alabama. That's it. So we want this guy. We have all this idea that, look at Cristobal. He lost to whoever the heck he lost to a couple weeks ago. Oh, look, now are you sure you still want that guy as your head coach? Yes, I'm sure I still want that guy as my head coach.
There's there's 3 guys, or like however many guys that have had undefeated seasons that are still coaching, right? Right. Like it doesn't like everyone doesn't have that. You want a guy that's been successful.
And this is why I like Lane too. I'm with you, Beast. I'm on the Lane train also. I think he's my 1A, 1B, right? 1A guy right next to Cristobal.
Whoa.
They're CEO guys. Okay, Cristobal's a CEO. He's gonna hire he's gonna bring Alex Mirabal with him, who's probably one of the best offensive line coaches.
Yeah, no doubt
in the country. Okay,
his
Rolodex. That's what you want. You want a coach to bring a badass Rolodex. You want a coach to bring a guy he can call anybody on the phone and be like, I want you to come coach for me. And they're going to come and they're going to coach for him. That's what you want. And that's what guys like that bring.
But here's the thing about a Lane that I like, and it's different. It manifests itself differently than it does with Nick Saban, but they have the similar quality of they don't give a bleep about what you think, right? And it manifests itself differently. Like Nick is he's eggplant emoji, whereas Lane probably can be that, but is a little more
different eggplant emoji.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's pointing in a different direction for Lane, right? So I there's just something about him, just even like at that Tennessee game, he caught that water bottle through his visor, and I was like,
golf ball.
Yeah, I was like, that guy's got cojones, man. That's what you need for a head coach. There's some big huevos,
There is one problem with Lane Kiffin. It has nothing to do with his coaching ability. Is that he is, throughout his career, he is a jumper. He is a job jumper. If he takes the Miami job, how long will he stay before he takes another job? He was at Tennessee for a year, went to USC, then he got fired, and then he jumped to Ole Miss. Like how like that's what.
But Robbie, when Miami was good, that's what they had. Howard jumped to the USFL, right? Jimmy jumped to go to the Cowboys. Dennis jumped to go to the Seahawks.
Butch to the Browns.
Jumped to go to Cleveland. Like, the problem is when you get a coach that doesn't have anywhere to jump, like Larry Coker,
or Manny Diaz,
or Manny, or Randy, like they have nowhere to jump.
I think Randy has coached every single team in Florida, right?
Right.
Yeah. He was at. Wait, he's a special assistant at Florida State.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look,
I saw Luke tweet out his coaching staff, and he had Randy back as linebacker coach. I was like, Luke, I'm like, I know he's your boy, but like, I mean, come on, bro.
That is a fair point, but I don't think Lane Kiffin wouldn't jump for an NFL team. Arkansas can have a head coaching opening. Well, I don't think he would. No. His name is always going to be in the rumors.
But like we said, he's a big city guy, and he would welcome a job like Miami, USC, something like that.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. Like I think Lane went to Ole Miss to prove a point and have a chance to beat Alabama and do some of those things. Sorry, Cooker jumped to a 5-year hiatus, man. Hey, man, don't knock the
UTSA.
Yeah. Don't knock the Road Runners. Yeah,
it's crazy.
But
Uncle Luke has coaching experience.
He does. I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to like whatever, man. His wife makes great wings. But
I missed you guys so much.
I know. Yeah. So listen, when Miami gets a good coach, they are that good that they jump, and that's fine. Like you don't have to have we need to get over this whole thing. Like we have to have a lifer as a coach. Like Nick Saban failed in the NFL, and he went to college, and that's where he should be, and that's why he's always going to stay at Alabama. You don't want the guy. That's not going to happen at Miami, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be.
This is a really unique coaching job.
Right.
Like,
this is why it
this
can't
is not like Alabama. This is not Georgia. Yeah, like this is a unique job where whoever gets this is probably not going to stick around very long, right? Maybe 2 or 3 years. If he's successful, maybe he'll go 4 or 5 years.
The best,
and then his coordinators are going to jump ship, and that's why you need that CEO guy.
What you hope is, like, let's say you had, I'm just throwing crap out against the wall because I mentioned him before, but let's say you got Brian Daboll to be the head coach, okay? And I know you're against the Jazz, but I'm just using this as an example, right? And Brian Daboll does so well that he gets an NFL job, but Ken Dorsey's here as the offensive coordinator because he comes with Brian, and then Ken Dorsey is the head coach. And
Sans pants.
Right, sans pants and all that stuff. Like, you're hoping for a situation like that, where like it's like a Mark Richt grooming Kirby Smart at Georgia. Kirby Smart takes over and boom, like they're good. Like you want that kind of situation. Whereas if the guy jumps, you don't have to go on a major search after because you can keep stuff intact. When Butch left, listen, Coker said what you want about him. He's the one that won the Natty with that staff because he was able to keep that staff together. Butch didn't take those guys to Cleveland.
Yeah, there was Clinton Porter said we didn't want no Barry Alvarez as our coach.
Right, exactly.
So would you be interested in a guy like if you continue to move into the Nick Saban coaching tree and you take one of those guys that are over there right now, like Doug Marrone or
well, I was going to bring up. I was actually going to. Bill O'Brien's on my list.
All right.
Because of course he also comes from the Belichick coaching tree. But Bill O'Brien has gone to the coaching rehab.
And he's been a head coach in college
at Alabama, and he's been a head coach in college. And that puts a lot of, checks a lot of boxes.
Hey, your guy.
He's not flashy.
No, he's not.
Hey, Lane Kiffin had to go to coach rehab too, and look what it's turned out to him. I like
Lane, they've all gone.
We got Twitch. By the way, you can send the nominees on Twitch. No Dolphin Gates. We're not taking Adam Gase is not a consideration. But the SDI comes in with how about Bob Stoops? That's an old school rumor. It's always a Florida rumor.
I was doing research before, and I was just checking out who USC was looking at. All their fans would love Bob Stoops, and evidently they haven't had the Bob Stoops has been rumored to be the coach of Miami since, I don't know, before John Gruden was rumored to be the coach of Miami.
Oh God!
Wasn't that reported at one point? Wasn't that reported that?
Yes, Gary Furman. I was in a basketball game, and it was a whole situation. I don't want to get into it, but it was a thing.
Oh man!
Well, how about you guys want a head coach with experience? But I'm gonna lie, at this point, we're it's like 4 a.m, and the 4s at the bar are starting to look like 10s. We're drunk, we're desperate, and we're reaching down to the bottom of the barrel. This guy has head coaching experience, this guy does have Miami. I beat you. You already know where this is going, and the Twitter's already suggested it.
Yeah,
but
no. No!
He's one of these back and
run. No!
So, Beast, tell us how you really feel about this guy.
Holy crap!
So tell us why. Tell us why. I want to know. He would be my 4 to a 10 probably.
It sounds like Beast can't divulge the details. Why? Oh, you got a lot of backers, Beast.
I need to hear this.
I think Greg Schiano is a good defensive mind.
And that's it. That's where you're
period. He is how do I put this in a way? He is an utter bleep hole.
Oh, that's
I mean, and not even like, and the thing about it is like Nick Saban is a bleep hole, but has the bona fides, the bona fides, as they say, to be that way. Greg Schiano does not.
You mean he has the 12 national championships?
Right, exactly. Like Greg Schiano has not done enough to warrant being, and he was a bleep hole when he roamed around Coral Gables his first time, around as the defensive coordinator. He was just no one liked him. Like no one liked him. I mean, I saw things behind the scenes in the way he treated players that. And listen, I don't know. It's been 20 years. Maybe he's completely a different person. But from what I saw behind the scenes, I'm a no thank you on that.
But very understandable. I just couldn't help it, because he's back at Rutgers now. Rutgers
I'm
needs to start. Like, it's 4 a.m. I'm hammered. I'm like,
No. Plus, I wouldn't want to take Galen's coach from him. So. Proud Rutgers grad.
Yeah. Oh, God. Maybe you would want to take him. Well, we got a couple bro suggestions like Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I like Michael Irvine. That one's great. Michael Irvin is pretty good too, but Michael Irvine, I mean that's.
I also saw Ray Lewis up there too. That's an old school one. All right. We bring up Greg Schiado. I know this guy would have been hot. This guy would have been on the top of the list a couple years ago, but he's fallen on hard times. He's still a head coach, but that's putting it lightly, I will say. But this is desperation time. Greg Schiado turned us down, so we bring in the old school bro rumor, the biggest bro rumor of them all.
I mean, not only is it stupid, but that's another one where the powers that be, they would rather hire the water boy than let him back onto this campus. Like there's a better chance that Cam Gorby is coaching the football team than Butch David.
Oh my God,
that's such a reference.
No comment.
Yeah,
no comment on that. I'm gonna stay away from that one because I have credentials.
But
that's true.
But look, I mean, like he would be a fired. Oh, someone he would be. I mean, he's obviously he's doing. He's not.
I love you, Cam. I love you, Cam.
I do too. I love him too.
He sold his soul for that win over the Canes, that FIU win, and he's won like one game since.
He's never been allowed back.
No. Give us something better than that.
Yeah, come on, Robbie. Did you?
Well, all right. Well, I mean,
did you do your research?
I saw it in the chat. I mean, I have another name on the screen, but I'm afraid to put that one up. That was like desperation, Hail Mary.
Put it up. I want to see if it triggers.
Well, before we get to that, I got another name that's not on the list. Because it's being thrown around. I saw it in the chat. Urban Meyer.
I love Urban. I'm not gonna lie. Crucify me if you want, but I'll take Urban in a heartbeat. If it didn't come with the finger banging,
he's so not a good guy.
Yeah.
Who, he's got a lot of baggage. But 3, you totally hate him if you play against him. But 4, if he's your coach, you absolutely love him. So I hate the idea unless he's named the head coach, in which case I'm going to love the idea.
And he'll win a couple of national championships.
He's a CEO,
but then we'll get him stripped after like 5 or 10 years. But whatever, right. It was worth those 2 or 3 years.
Right, exactly.
You know? Well, yeah, I'm only saying this because we're all assuming that he's going to be fired.
That didn't trigger me like I thought it was going to.
No, I don't think we could trigger you worse than Schiado. That was.
I knew that was coming too. I should have taken more pills.
Oh, this one, Tim Ice Harris. Somebody comes to with Tim Ice Harris. He was on Golden State.
There's nothing against these guys, but like everyone wants like someone that everyone wants retreads that have just like.
How about this guy? How about this guy for both of you? I know that he's had some trouble in the past, but I mean, then again, this is Miami, right? So, like, what the hell? And I think he's a hell of a coach. Is Hugh Freeze?
Oh, I can't believe that's a terrible miss on my part.
No,
give me liberty or give me death.
I'm
did a hell of a job at Liberty. Did a hell of a job at Ole Miss.
I'm trying to cut back on that situation.
Yeah,
trying to cut back.
I mean, you can only
right.
There's only one name worse than that, and that's Art Briles.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that means the Canes are going to have a left tackle that gets drafted and that has a press conference. And do you take money? Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, exactly. And where's the gas mask? I'm good. I'm good on the Hugh Freeze front.
All right.
But there's a point.
But
is there?
I have very few morals, but the few that are still left.
Well, I mean, any other last? I got one name left on the screen. Before I get to the name, any other last minute names, guys we haven't mentioned, people on Twitch too. You can chime in.
I had a couple names, but now that I'm thinking about it, like it's not feasible.
I got one. I got one for you, Beast. While you think about it, I got one for you, and I think that the reason why I like him is because he may come with someone that we're all gonna love down here. Number one, number two, he commands a lot of respect, and a lot of people go to him that are former Miami Hurricanes that go to him when they need help or when they have questions. And I'm talking, what the hell is this guy's name? The head coach over at Boston College.
Jeff Flack, just with an F.
Yeah, is it Collins? No, Collins was is down in
he's
Georgia Tech.
He's a good coach. He's a good coach, but another guy.
You know who his chief of staff or his whatever kind of right hand man is over there, right? It's Chudzinski, and that's another guy.
Old school name.
And that's another guy that's been rumored in Miami as well. So as like an AD
Rob has that same job that kind of Ed Reed has, where he's just
right,
but he's a little more like
he's like a consultant, right, or something.
Yeah, they just let Chud sit in an office and help out wherever he wants.
Right.
Yeah, listen, they've improved a lot there. But that's an interesting town to coach in because no one cares about Boston. No one cares about college sports up there unless you went to Boston College, and even then, you're still talking about Flutie. It's just,
and he's been able to do all right up there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it's okay. It's not a bad deal.
But one thing's for sure, guys, we can't they already hired the Temple coach technically twice. So a guy like, any coach from a small school is going to be it's going to be a horrible reaction. Like even a guy like Luke Fickell, you're hiring it's going to be seen as hiring the Cincinnati coach. Like you can't go down that road again. It's either got to be a coordinator or a former head, a guy with a, Power 5 coaching experience, but you can't go Temple, Ohio, or, I heard who's that guy from Louisiana Lafayette? His names are all over the place.
Yeah. But there's one guy that was on my list that I wanted to bring up just to get the reaction, and he coaches in the state of Florida. Anyone want to take a guess?
Taggart?
No.
Stop it.
Gus Malzahn.
Oh, it goes with Gus Malzahn, yeah.
Well, he's about to get fired over at UCF, so yeah,
right,
hell, right?
Right.
And he'll bring what's his name back over as the linebacker coach.
Randy?
No, what's the kid that was here? Travis Williams.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I know he lost his he lost his quarterback Dylan Gabriel earlier this season, but Gus Malzahn, you talk about how great Alabama is. Gus Malzahn beat Alabama multiple times. We had Al Golden who never beat Florida State, and Gus Malzahn has gone toe to toe. He's won several times against Alabama. So I thought he got a raw deal at Auburn. I mean, he's obviously not doing well at UCF, but I thought
there's because if we go underneath it all, right? As I try to mimic Gwen Stefani, but if we go underneath it all. Like the biggest problem the University of Miami has had over the last 20 years is an inability to be creative on offense and utilize the talent that is available to them. Because there's no way, shape, or form, even if you're getting the the sloppy seconds after Alabama and everybody else from Dade and Broward and Palm Beach. Those guys are athletes enough that you should be able to have something innovative and fast on offense, and Miami has not been able to do that. We thought Rhett Lashley was going to do it, and it hasn't happened. He's running, he's still running people up the middle. And that's why I like Gus Malzahn, because he's an innovative offensive mind. That's why I like Lane Kiffin. He's an innovative offensive mind. And you feel like those guys would find a way to finally utilize the talent that's available at the University of Miami.
Yeah, by the way, what was that the last game? You're running a zone read when they know you have to pass. They're not going to fall for the fake. That's a wasted motion.
We're the kings of zone read, and it's terrible.
I did a demonstration on Twitch on this play. Look, I'm going to make this, and I brought the demonstration. I'm going to make this AA battery, Tyler Van Dyke. I'm going to make this Turtle, the running back. I believe it was Knight because Cam Harris is already injured. And I have this oximeter is a North Carolina defensive end. end. So when you do the zone read, like handoff to the turtle, this defensive end is not going to go for the turtle. He's going to go right to the quarterback, and sure enough, he gets hit and the ball goes in the air. If Tyler Van Dyke had a straight drop back, he could have got rid of maybe he could have got rid of the ball. There's 20 seconds left. It's third down. You got no timeouts. If you get stopped short of the first down, you have to send the fire team out there to kick the field goal. Like, what was that?
By the way, Robbie, has anyone ever told you you'd make millions off of YouTube if you just had a channel recreating like sports situations?
I should do. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do demonstrations with oximeters and turtles.
Yes,
I'd watch that.
I would just not stop watching it. I would give up my earwax videos for that.
That's what
Oh God! I got a question for you guys that came up in one of the shows yesterday that I was on watching and stuff. If you're the head coach, if you're the new head coach at Miami, who are the two coaches that you keep on this staff on offense and on defense?
God.
Well, it's unanimous. Jess Simpson, right?
No, not for me. No.
I thought that was I mean, that's not me. That's like everyone talking.
Oh, no, it's definitely not me either.
But
I got one surprise and one kind of that I would think that people would want to keep. But
I don't think I keep anyone from the offensive staff.
But if you had to,
if I had to keep someone from the offensive staff,
yeah.
Ooh.
Running back coach.
Yeah, I mean it would be. I mean running
Eric
back.
Hickson?
Yeah. I mean because
I like him because he can recruit. I don't think he's done a terrible job with running backs.
Here's the secret about running backs, coach. It's almost always the position that is like one of the top recruiters. And see, here's the thing about college staffs, right? Because it's limited staff. I mean, it's expanded a little bit because now you're able to have this analyst and all this other stuff. But you either have guys that are coaches, like X's and O's, or recruiters. And the running back guy always falls into the recruiting category less than the coaching category. Although, like Donnie Solinger, and I'm dating myself, could do both. But that's few and far between when it comes to the running back coach position. It's almost always a recruiter. But yeah, I would keep him for recruiting.
Well, yeah, that's Don Solinger, an old OG fall guy from Larry Coker. Him and Kehoe were like all the assistants he fired.
That wasn't Larry. That was Pete Garcia that fired all those people.
Pete Garcia.
That's how it went down.
I didn't know that.
Pete Garcia, had a meeting with Larry and said, "Listen, you're firing these assistants. This is how it's going to happen." And then Larry ended up with the staff that was like, made up of like the Wizard of Oz cast. Like, the Scarecrow.
Rich Olsen, like everybody, they brought it back.
Like, my God. Was chain smoking. I mean, that staff was the receivers coach. I forget who that guy was. Like, he was walking around in like Adidas jumpsuits. I don't know what was happening. It was ridiculous.
Speaking of receivers coach, I think I might keep Rob Likens. I like Likens a lot. I think that his past, and he hasn't done a terrible job with the wide receivers. I mean, he coaches them up. I mean, he hasn't done a terrible job with them at all. I mean, this team is not bad because their wide receivers are bad.
But I guess my expectations are, Jazz, that like when you're Miami, you have good, like your receivers are good. Like when you're Miami, you're getting enough talent at receiver that your receivers are good. So like
you didn't have good receivers last year, except for Mike Harley.
Where's he been this year?
Exactly. He hasn't been good, but then you've got Rambo who's been good. You've got Sean Smith who's been good. Yeah.
But then you got the drop brothers, the Pope and Wiggins, the drop brothers.
You've got the three Amigos that have been good, but it took a while for Manny to put them on the damn field.
All right.
Who would you keep on defense then?
It's one of two guys. I'd either keep
Cleanhouse. You can't keep the defensive coordinator, obviously, because you're firing him.
I'd either keep T-Rob or my surprise pick is DVD.
Is he related to
I'd keep DVD.
We don't know that he's not.
Who's that?
Rob Likens, he's related to Greg.
We don't know that he's not related.
We don't know, true. Throw it to Mount every time. Oh, that guy's had a horrible
right. Yeah, that's what you want to do.
Where's the tight end position been?
Yeah.
I'm getting...
All right, you guys ready for the final name?
It's DVD. DVD is the guy I keep on.
All right, you guys kind of mentioned this name earlier. but this is desperation. It's another coach who's surprisingly available, and he did have that one rumor to Miami way back in the day. I'm scared to bring this name up, but I have him up there. I'm gonna put it up for 2 seconds and then close it.
Stop it.
Close it.
That ship has sailed.
But I mean, he did he did have that rumor to. He did have that rumor back in the day.
Did you just put up John Gruden? Did you?
So much for the research. Put up John Gruden.
You dug through websites and pages of numbers to come up with that guy?
Why? Butch Davis and Greg Schiado already said no to me. I was on hard times. It was 7 in the morning, and he had that. I put him on the list because he had that one report in the case. Because of Gary Furman.
Because when you go to Traz Powell Stadium, you want to be the racist.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, that's not going to work. Go recruit kids from Northwestern and Central and Ely and be the guy that is the racist.
Go see Luke. Go see that.
I put him on there strictly because of that one rumor from your guy Gary Furman, and he's available now. That's it. It was similar to Orgeron being available.
I think I'd rather have Gary Furman as the head coach.
All right, we can't end on that. We got to get another name. I'm sorry, I didn't think that went through. I apologize.
Damn straight. Okay, give us one last one.
All right. Well, I ran out of name. I don't have any more I can put on the screen. Oh, I can make another banner. God, that was horrible suggestion. I just that one report. That's all I wanted. Look. Schiado said no. Butch Davis said no. We had Dan Lanning even turned us down. Ed Orgeron, obviously, you guys said no to Ed Orgeron. Lane's a good name, but Lane probably is not going to take this job. He could do better. The USC and LSU are already out there. He's gonna. I mean, he's going to end up in one of those two. Dorsey, we kind of liked, but not feeling it all that much. Cristobal, pipe dream, not going to happen. And so, and you guys want a guy with head coaching experience,
right?
You guys want a guy with Miami ties, and. The only one I can think of is he? I gotta check. Is this guy still alive? I have a name. I gotta check.
Alive? Oh no, I know who you're gonna say.
I hope he's still alive. Yeah, I think he is.
You want to end, and this is how you want to end. You didn't want
to
end John Gruden.
Well, this is a better ending than John Gruden, but we could do better than this guy. Yeah, he's still alive, 74 years old. Born in Everett, Washington. You want a guy with head coaching experience who went to Miami ties. It's Dennis Erickson. I just had to do better than John Gruden. So
I mean, better than John Gruden.
Right.
Better than Greg Schiano.
Well, these guys at this point have all said no to us.
Won 2 titles.
Yeah, he did what? He was at Arizona State. He did stops in Idaho too. Yeah, he did win 2 titles.
Is now only people that have been around Miami for a long time are going to get this reference, but there's only one reason why that could possibly happen, and that's because Bill and Ted's is closed. Now, neither of you two probably know what that is, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to even disclose it on the stream, but we're just happy it's closed. It was an establishment, if you will.
Of the gentleman like.
No. Not listen, if you're gonna say Jimmy Johnson, spell it right, SDI. I mean, come on. It's not IE. Jesus.
Maybe he wants the race car, race car driver to be the head coach.
I mean, wait, is he still with us? Oh no, it was Jimmy. Wait, there was another guy that
was Jim Johnson, defensive coordinator for the Eagles. He's done. He's no longer with us.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah. I thought you were going to say Larry Coker when you were saying Miami ties and won. I thought you were going to say bring Larry Coker back.
Oh, yeah. He won the last national championship for the Miami Hurricanes. Like the back when you want to be. But then it goes to the old bro argument. We all happened to the day. He won it with Butch's players, bro.
All right. Let me ask you. Maybe we can possibly end on this because I'm old and it's coming up against my time to watch Earwax YouTube videos, which is. Does Manny? Does Manny make it? Oh no! Yeah, of course. Now Leroy would never show up to a game, but yeah, UD can do whatever he wants. If he wants to coach the Hurricanes, he can coach the Hurricanes.
Yeah,
imagine UD recruiting.
Oh man, number 1 in the country every year.
Plus all the Subway you can eat. What you call it?
Who would he get on staff?
Does Manny make it through the season or not?
It'd have to be a really, really bad. It'd have to be the only way Golden didn't make it through that season was if Clemson, that Clemson game, that 58-0. But yeah, I don't think anything's gonna. They're gonna say nothing's gonna happen if he fired him mid-season. This week they got NC State. He's not gonna get fired after NC State, and then Pitt. He's not gonna get fired after Pitt. And then what you got?
What about Narduzzi?
I saw Narduzzi up in the chat earlier. He's 4-1 at Pitt. Pitt's flying high. Their one loss was to Western Michigan, though. That should be noted. But his name's always out there. But I feel like he's like, you want to talk about Miami guy? He's like a Big Ten guy. Like he's like,
yeah, no, I agree. That's who the fancy lad Chris Whittingham desperately wanted Narduzzi before Manny was hired.
Yeah, and so look, maybe Narduzzi would have been the better hire at the time. That's not a bad. Oh my god!
No,
put it up.
Don't put it up, Jesus.
Oh, God.
The shark humper.
No, I'm good. I'm good on that one.
You know who's another guy, and I'll answer your question, Beast, in a second, but maybe Dave Aranda, maybe the guy over at Baylor.
Yeah, but he'll probably he'll go to LSU before
he's always been mentioned because he was at Miami at one point, wasn't he? Or no? I'm thinking of someone else. Never mind.
Maybe, but it's
I'm thinking of Mike Archer, different guy.
Mike Archer.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I just think if they don't announce something like even like what they did with Coach O, right? I think they're doing a lot more harm than they are good. If they, fire him at the end of the season, I think that you need to say something now. Either announce it now, either get rid of him now, or at least announce that this is his last year. Because if you keep him on, you're just going to lose. You're going to lose everybody. And
Jazz, you follow recruiting more than I do because I really try to stay away from it until signing day, which is, supposedly he's not leaving where he is right now. He's at a better spot right now, but. People have said that the reason why Miami is not making a move right now is because of recruiting, that they don't want to scare recruits away by firing the coach now. And from 35,000 feet, like, it doesn't seem like Miami's doing great in recruiting right now. So what's the difference? But maybe you have a better answer than I do.
Yeah. So just if you look at it on paper, right, they only have about 8 guys right now that are committed. A lot of them are actually in the top 2, top 247 ranking or whatever you want to call it. They're actually in the top. They're up there. So they've got a decent. the guys that they have committed are pretty good. They already lost one guy either way. Traycon Fegans already decommitted, and 2 days later committed to Alabama. He stayed home. He stayed at Alabama. So that was the only one that was kind of like the guy that wasn't all that completely solid on Miami anyways. No, I think it's the other way around. From what we're hearing, there's a lot of big names that are actually pushing back and not signing in the early signing period because they want to see what Miami does. And those some of the big names are guys like Nigel Lee Kelly, maybe even a guy like Shamar Stewart. A lot of these kids are actually going to push back their signing day to the I guess the original signing day in February as opposed to December. Because they want to see what Miami's going to do in coaching. So I think it's the other way around. I think if you don't do it earlier, I think you're going to lose a lot more kids later when it's not too late, but where it's going to be a pain in the ass to get a lot more kids on board, right? And at this point, either way, this is going to be a very transfer portal heavy recruiting class anyways when you only have 8 kids committed, but you already see that they've got
that's a Manny Diaz class anyways, transfer portal.
Yeah, but that's the way a lot of teams are going to start trending. You're going to see it a lot regardless of who it is, but yeah.
We all have guys that we want. We all have guys that we want. We all have fantasy land choices. So this is the last thing we do before we'll end the summit. We all talked about a bunch of guys we would inquire, but at the end of the day, who we want and who the Canes are ultimately going to hire, probably not going to be the guy we want. So but last day prediction: who will be the coach next year? It could include Manny Diaz, by the way. Who will be the coach next year? I guess Jazz, you go first.
If all the pieces fall in place and everything is done the way it should be done, I'm going to go with Mario Cristobal.
Whoa! He's going to pull a Frank Martin, Mrs.
I think everything needs to align in order for that to happen, but I think it's Mario Cristobal.
Beast.
Ooh, who will be the head coach? I do agree with Jazz that if everything falls into place, but the chances I'm putting on that perfection are slim, not slim to none, but low percentage, right? Because it's just
Fair enough.
I have a bad feeling. So in that case, we're going to tier 2 of the situation. I'm not counting out Lane because of ego and just wanting to prove that he could do it. But if I had to guess, it's probably going to be a guy from that is a head coach now. I don't know that I have a name. Head coach now, lesser program, getting an opportunity. So
I got the name for you. It's who I think is going to be the head coach.
Okay.
Because that's who the Canes are ultimately. They're not going to pay the big bucks, and the administration maybe doesn't care. And this guy's been a name out there, and we haven't mentioned this name at all because I don't want him as a coach. But this is who I think is going to be Billy Napier, that coach from Louisiana. I was trying to figure out Billy Napier. That's who I think will be the head coach come time because they did it with Golden, they did it with Diaz. Luke Fickell. It might be too. He's a Cincinnati coach, but it might be he could do better than Miami. It might be it's going to be the Iowa State guy. Matt Campbell. No, Matt Campbell. I think Billy Napier.
The good thing about Billy Napier is he does. He's been at Alabama, right? He was at Clemson, but I don't know if it was when Dabo was there, or Dabo, or whatever the hell his name is. So he's got some experience, and he's doing okay at a pretty, school where there's no expectations. So, I don't know.
All right,
give me a name. Give me a name, Beast. Jeez, give me a name.
Come
on, you can do it.
I'm gonna go to coach's hot seat.
PJ Fleck.
Ugh.
Exactly, and that's why I gave you that name because of the reaction you just made.
Ski you, Ma, row the boat.
Killing me here. All right.
Before we let you guys go, this is funny. This is funny from SDI. That LeBron would want Napier reference to Shabazz. To him suggesting that he draft Shabazz Napier. All right, Jazz, you first. Tell us where they can find you. You were on the air earlier today with 5 reasons. To 6 Ring Canes. That's your name.
Right there. Follow at 6 Rings Canes. That's where I post most of my Canes stuff. Anyways, we do our show every Wednesday night at 8:30. Hopefully you guys can come on and talk some Canes with us soon as well. It'll be fun. It's on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. So you can always catch us on there. Also 5 Reasons Sports. And that's it, man.
Beast?
You can find me at Miami Radio Beast. So follow me there and go subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Beast On, or just Google Brian the Beast London YouTube and you will find it. I normally post after games and sometimes other times. And I just to let you know, when that day does come of Miami getting absolutely flambéed and lambasted and bamboozled, I went out and bought like a whole row of Pepto-Bismol for my next The Coach Is Done video. So know that it's coming.
Oh, man.
Follow me, Robbie The Degenerate, on Twitch. I do the SDI The Degenerate podcast, which just dropped. We led into you. This summit was the SDI The Degenerate. That's available to be seen. Oh, wait. One more name at the buzzer, just for you, Beast. Dino, your favorite guy.
This is how we're ending.
Dino, your favorite guy. Dino, favorite.
I thought you were going to go Dillingham.
Oh yeah, because he follows you. He follows you on Twitter. Kenny Dillingham.
Randomly.
Yeah, he's on the Florida State staff with Norvell.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. He is.
Right out of nowhere, just follows you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us on this summit, this halfway mark summit. We'll see who they end up hiring. Thanks for both of you guys for coming on and then doing this.
Love you guys. Miss you guys. Thank you, man.
Do it again. Thanks, Robbie.
Oh, wait, one more name. Oh, wait. He's not going to
Stop. Get out of here. I'm out of here.
Jim Kelly. All right.